we have reached the main card. We've got some awesome fights lined up. We've got 3 title fights. Our first fight of the main card is a men's flyweight. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner and representing CDS MMA Namibia. Please welcome Mandume Kalkunga.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill.
I'm ready.
It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Got a problem, tell me
We
now.
are live,
Only thing that's
BMC
on my
7
mind is
main
who's
card.
on this
The
town
moment we have
tonight.
4 been waiting.
And
we've got a pair of men's flyweights. The lighter they are, the faster they are, the more volume you get. This man is 23 years old. His weight is 57 kilos. He stands in at 178 centimeters with a record of 0-1. And fighting out of CDS MMA Namibia. Seeing from his teammates earlier, we know the team is ready for this event. They have come to dominate, and they have done beautifully this far, so let's see if they can keep that momentum going into the main card.
Well, thus far they haven't lost a single fight. So this team seems to have had a really good fight camp. They're probably in a really good space considering that they've traveled so far from Namibia to come here and fight for the opportunities that they have here at BMC.
In the CDS MMA corner, we got Coach Carlos, very experienced coach, having experience coaching in IMF Africa Champs and on an international platform. He brings that knowledge over into the
Ladies and
BMC
gentlemen, his
cage.
opponent in the red corner and fighting out of Troublemaker MMA and Fitness. Please welcome JP Conradi.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill.
And enter the pretty boy. Don't be deceived by his pretty face. The man is coming out with violence. Every time we've seen him in the cage, he has performed. Win, lose or draw, he always puts on a show. This man is 19 years old with a weight of 56.7 kilos. His height is about 176 centimeters with a record of 2-2. But don't be fooled, one of those losses were at Nationals last year, and he did really well, winning one of his fights there as well.
And this is a short notice fight as JP's opponent pulled outside and then said, let's take the fight. And here we have a fight, ladies and gentlemen, and we are super excited to start the fight card off.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. I keep doing my own thing. Walking calm against the rain. Victories within the mile.
In JP's corner, we've got the one and only troublemaker, Faiz Jacobs, an experienced EFC fighter coming off of a beautiful TKO finish at EFC Knox Legacy Series. And he brings it back, always giving back to the community and investing in the BMC platform. You know, this team is always here, and this team is always supporting, and you always hear the troublemaker team. And we just love the support from the team, and we wish them all the best.
And more than anything, they always put on a show. I don't think I've ever seen a Troublemakers fight that was not fun, was not interesting. Look at those eyes. That man is in the zone.
It
ready.
all fits the memo. Troublemakers in the house. Ready to make trouble. Let's get it. I cannot wait. And we are on, ladies and gentlemen, starting off our main
card, we've got JP in red, Mandumbe in blue.
Pretty Boy shoots the takedown, gets stuffed, but keeps the fire going.
Oh, Mandumbe looking for a takedown of his own, and he gets it.
Very, very well done. Nice cage work.
Very good ground game from JP, immediately getting to that full guard and starting to work off the hips. You see he keeps moving, but very good top control from Mandumbe.
Definitely. The trick is, or the question is he going to try and create some space to get the ground and pound, or is he going to try and pass the guard and move into a better position to try and apply more damage, or look for a submission?
Well, prior to this, we can see JP is being very active on the back, and he's not allowing him any time to settle in that position. As you see, he's trying to kick up submissions. Earlier, he had the overhook pinching on that arm. Very active bottom game from JP, and it's making it quite difficult for Mandumbe to advance and get a better posture to ground and pound.
Definitely. JP doing a very good job of moving along, trying to get as close to his corner as he can to get all the guidance that he needs to try and get out of this position.
Which you can see Mandumbe showing experience in the wrestling positions, and very nice ground and pound from JP, as you can ground and pound from the bottom. JP working his way up. Can he get up?
Again, key word of the day, composure. JP on the bottom being super composed, not freaking out even though he's in the less dominant position, and working consistently to try and make his way onto the feet, create space, and better his position.
And the patience from Mandumbe, not rushing to advance any positions, but staying tight, staying close, not risking anything, but working his way up. Because he knows in these fights, the longer you're on top, the more it weighs. And once you get that opportunity, then it can all be done within a matter of seconds.
But one of the things people don't think about is once you're on top of your opponent, you're on top of your opponent. They have to carry you. Oh, lovely scramble.
Especially in such positions.
Hey, beautiful strike on the break.
I think that just touched the end of JP's guard as he shook his head. And a beautiful left hand from Mandumbe. This striking is looking very crisp from Team CDS MMA. And
definitely a fun round, but definitely goes to our Namibian friends.
And there we see the Troublemakers corner, Faiz. With him is Frank, another BMC fighter, the former youth welterweight champion, was very dominant as a champion and has done very well in the adult scene, finishing his last fight by way of TKO.
And quite a dominant TKO. There didn't seem to be a moment in that fight that Frank was losing, to be perfectly frank.
I don't know if we should call that a KO, because his opponent was
TKO.
out.
Well, totally knocked out. I guess that's not a TKO. That's a true KO.
Looking to see if we will see another knockout from the Troublemakers team. Round 2, here we go. Nice, beautiful leg kick from the blue corner. See them bouncing around. This looks like a very skilled fighter. He looks like he is very comfortable in that. Beautiful spinning back kick by JP Conroy, the pretty boy with some pretty techniques.
There's lots of faking and feinting at the moment. They clearly have established some patterns within the fight, even though it went to the ground quite quickly in the last round. That was a beautiful kick to the leg. You could tell how that leg kind of swayed to the position That's a very, very nice kick to the leg. Bandube is doing very... Oh my word, what a kick. Those leg kicks.
Oh, and JP with the pressure, but he eats one on the way in. And Madube coming back with it, and into the clinch they go. Beautiful.
Intelligent move by JP to not engage in an unnecessary firefight, but clinch up, take a dominant position, and then try and work some ground and pound. There we go.
And JP is in a dominant position, that half guard, but more of a half mount with against the cage, keeping that cage pressure. Now it's just a matter of whether he can posture up to land those heavy blows, or if he's just going to keep padding from where he is.
Mandume is doing a good job of holding him and stopping him from making space to land the damage that he needs to. But now he needs to try and get himself up and create some space and get on top at least.
Nice. And
beautiful.
He's got
rolls for the anaconda. Reaches for the leg.
Alex side. Can he finish it?
Will he be the first South African of the day to walk away with a victory against the Namibian?
The pretty boy.
Not afraid to make it ugly.
And the Troublemakers team very, very happy over the win. You can hear the crowd.
This is what a BMC main event or main card fight is like.
And this is just the first one.
The very first. Watch as it builds. We've seen it before, and every time it gets a little bit bigger, the closer you get to the main event, the tension builds, and it just gets better and better. Look at that. A beautiful anaconda finish with the roll.
Just an interesting fact, JP will be fined for jumping on the cage, as it is one of the rules at BMC. But this is his moment.
For some people, they'll take the fine.
Your winner by submission, red corner.
And Troublemakers getting the first win of the main card, breaking the win streak of the CDS team. Beautiful, beautiful display of mixed martial arts, from the striking exchanges to the clinch work to the grappling, and finishing it off with some slick jiu-jitsu.
And the way JP stayed again, the word of the day seems to be composed. Because every fight that's happened, we've seen someone like JP go in there, just lock in with those eyes, and even if he's losing in the beginning, it doesn't matter. He'll find a chink in the armor, and he'll work his way to a finish, just like that.
Very, very impressive from the Troublemakers team. We can only wait to see what they have for us in store.
All these girls only gon' want one thing. I can spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come is as good when I'm coming. She got an ass that'll swallow up a G-string. And up top on 2 beast things. And I'm beasting off the re-sling. And my nigga just made it out the
beautiful, and the Troublemakers team always in the house, always showing some love and support.
First South Africans to do it today.
What's that, yay? Baby, these heels. Is that a mate? What? Baby, these wheels. You tripping when you ain't sipping, have a refill. You're feeling like you're running, huh? Now you know how we feel.
Come on. What a way to start the card. What a way. And I can assure you the next fight is going to be an absolute banger. Let me tell you something about this guy that's coming out of Namibia. I won't say his name. I'll leave Jules that honor. But let me tell you, this kid is special. Just the resume he has been able to build up is nothing short of a world-class fighter. understand. Bad. See, after all the
I walked into that pool and then I came back from the smoke. He's still got his KFC moment. Conceded.
you insane.
Are you only doing the post-fight interviews for the title fight? Next one. Yeah, pump it up and then I'll start.
All right, our next fight is going to take place in the men's bantamweight division yet again. We have Baghdad Manujuba, I presume. I apologize if the pronunciation is butchered there. Then we have Amanu Abdullah. I'm trying my best here. All right. And these, like I say, these two men are fighting at bantamweight. And again, it is a South African versus a Namibian. Baghdad is from Namibia and Armanu is from Fighters Inc. here in South Africa. We have Baghdad coming in at, at 23 and 23 and is we have Baghdad coming in at 21. Sorry, my apologies. And his weight is 61. His height is 176 centimeters with a record of 3-1. His dance partner is coming in at 23 years of age with the weight of 61.2. His height stands at 162 with a record of 1-1.
Just apologize for the slight technical difficulties. The pictures were swapped. We don't blame you, Tris. No worry about that. This promises to be a great fight. We haven't seen much of Amanu, but what we have seen from him has been really exciting. And of course, the Namibian guys, they just bringing the heat with every single fight. So we know this entire card is
However,
insane.
we are now on the main card. So any fight that anyone has on this card could go in either direction.
So Tristan, the fighter that I was telling you about earlier, that I said this is a world-class fighter. It is the fighter that will be coming in first. Baghdad with that 3-1 record. He has not just the IMF African silver, but he also has a IMF African gold medalist. So he's a gold medalist and a silver medalist at Africa Champs.
That's interesting. Especially if he went and got the silver medal first and then came back the next year and corrected whatever mistakes he needed to make to level up and then go back and win the gold.
We gotta work on the board to get some new shit, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your patience. This time the other side of the cage broke. Our next fight is a men's bantamweight bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing CDS MMA Namibia. Please welcome Baghdad Munjua.
I'm blessed and I'm chosen, I'm prepped and I'm focused, and God has a plan for me. No weapon shall prosper, I'm more than a conqueror. God's got his hand on me.
Introducing to the BMC cage, the IMF Africa Champs silver medalist, coming in at 21 years old, fighting at bantamweight. He's at a height of 176 centimeters with a record of 3-1.
God's got a plan for me. No weapon shall prosper, I'm more than a conqueror. God's got his hand on me. I know I want it like I want it. Yeah, I promise I'ma go get
within that 3-1 record, Baghdad has a IMF Africa Champs silver medal as well as the IMF Africa Champs gold medal, meaning he was ranked number 1 in the continent and number 2 in his weight class.
That's a big ask for Armanu to fight against, because those are credentials. Those are some credentials in just, what was it, 3-1? That is so much to accomplish in such a short space of time in terms of fights.
But we will see if experience plays the part, as he is no stranger to fighting.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent standing in the red corner, representing Fighters Inc. Please welcome Armanu Abdallah.
Time to play the game.
And we have Armanu coming in at 23 years of age with a weight of 61.2, exactly bantamweight. And he is 162 centimeters tall, my apologies, with a record of 1-1, but don't let that deceive you. This man can fight. This man has heart. He's done it every time he's come in the cage. He's put on a good performance.
And fighting out of Fighters Inc., a very experienced gym that has been in the game for the longest of times. You know, many of the big names came out of that gym, and you can expect that coaching corner to have some real experience coming into this and knowing how to handle more experienced fighters. And I'm sure the game plan from Team Alpha is up to par.
Yeah, I mean, Fighters Inc. for the longest time has been known as a striking gym because they have one of the better striking coaches in the Western Cape in Fidar Edwards. However, they also have had the influences of the likes of Hayden in their corner, so often their wrestling does show through. So they do make for quite well-rounded fighters. You can expect lots of Muay Thai, a little bit of flash, and a fair bit of wrestling if the striking doesn't tend to it.
But what I've seen from Armanu thus far, he quite enjoys the striking. We will see if Baghdad has any intentions to grapple or if these two will dance. But what a cool walkout song, hey?
Triple H, it's always good. It's always good. That's one of my favorites.
I saw you were jamming to it when he first came out, and it looked like you were the first to recognize it. Were you a big fan in your day?
WWE. WWE was my pre-UFC. I love WWE. There's nothing like the showmanship from that kind of an event. And a lot of the UFC guys take from those guys when they're creating their personas or their quote-unquote characters. And I think that's why often if you want some of the best walkout music, you gotta look to the WWE.
Yes. And you know what they say, transitioning from WWE to UFC is maturing in manhood. Quick recalculation. The Fighters Inc. team being heard from showing support to their teammate.
All right, we are all set for this men's bantamweight fight.
And you really don't know what to expect from these Namibian guys, because so far today we've seen it all. We've seen the striking, we've seen the grappling, beautiful wrestling, beautiful top pressure. And this fighter in particular is coming off of a 2-fight win streak, coming by way of TKO and RNC.
They engage in the clinch right away. We've seen a lot of clinch exchanges today in almost every fight that we've seen. But that's MMA for you. It's a big part of the game where you can add strikes to the clinch. And you see these gentlemen aren't even using the cage. They're just using the center of the cage with the clinch.
And they just going at each other, strength for strength there for a moment. But Bad Dad is able to get Amanu onto the cage, and now he looks to get that double leg. And he's able to pull the legs from underneath and get a top position. Amanu wiggling his legs inside, but what he really needs to do is start working his way up and getting his knees towards himself.
Definitely, definitely. But look at the top pressure there against the cage. And again, using the cage and pinning those legs, very like Dagestani style, where you use your legs to pin their legs whilst those hands are free. Free to pin their arms, free to base, free to throw strikes. It's very effective. And then the fact that he has him sitting against the cage means that he can definitely leverage his shots a lot better and pin him a little bit easier.
Baghdad working up almost into a full mount now. Into the full mount, looking for that ground pound. He has had a slight grapevine in, but he let go of that. And now he's just looking to posture up and land some of those strikes. Amani doing a good job of staying active at the bottom, not just accepting the bottom position.
But the top pressure from every single Namibian fighter we have seen today has been exceptional. So shout out to CDS MMA Namibia for producing such good top pressure in all of your athletes.
Nice. And we see him just dragging his opponent
that ground
to
and
the
pound,
corner.
non-stop,
and
in his
he's
own
letting
corner.
Off with the ground and pound in front of his team, looking to get the finish in round one. He has time to work. Amanu needs to work out of here. Amanu needs to advance.
This is close to being finished. He is not intelligently defending himself right now. And that is the fight. Another finish on the main event.
Bad Dad with the win for Team CDS. Beautiful finish. And, you know, every time you see a fighter and you see that back structure, then you know that top pressure is it's gonna be heavy.
Definitely, definitely. You almost form like a shell back with all the muscle that you need to use and the way that you like apply that muscle.
And there's the beautiful finish right in front of his coach, encouraging him all the way till the end. And he just kept going. The
Ladies and
shots
gentlemen,
were
big round of applause
very
for both
clean, but
fighters.
Amanu was not getting out of that.
Your winner by ground and pound, blue corner.
I'm chosen, I'm prepped, and I'm focused.
Beautiful, beautiful performance from Bad Dad, who is now 4-1 with a 3-fight win streak, coming with 2 TKOs.
Back to back.
And so he has prior to this fight, he had a 2-fight win streak coming off of a KO and a rear naked choke. And he adds to that finish streak with another TKO.
It's the best way to win a fight by far. Hard-fought decisions are great, and you make rivals, you make friends, you make enemies, you make all of it in those kinds of fights. But there's nothing sweeter than a finish.
Beautiful. And there's Coach Carlos and Ronaldo accompanying Bad Dad. I had a chat with Ronaldo prior to the event, and he is also a MMA athlete, but he was not in for this competition. So Coach Carlos approached him and asked him to come down with the team, and he has proven to be a very, very important part of the team, because I've seen him come out with a lot of the fighters, and a lot of the fighters are doing really good. I think it's something about having your teammate with you, even if they're not competing, just knowing that your family is here. It pushes you. Although they're in a foreign land, they've got their close family with them right here, and that's all they need. Team CDS, MMA College, Namibia, ladies and gentlemen.
Our next fight is the Alright, and with our next fight, we have the men's BMF title, an inaugural title of its kind in the BMC. Ruben Jobs is actually our bantamweight champ, or flyweight champion, my apologies, and he is fighting Kule Miso, who took this fight on short notice as the opponents had to change for various reasons, and these two men took this fight short notice just to perform, just because they both wanted to be here today. And we have
Kule Miso coming in at a young 22 years old, weighing in at 53 kgs at a height of 167 centimeters, holding an MMA fight record of 1-0.
Alright, and then we have Kule Miso, or Ruben Jobs, sorry, with the age of 25, the weight of 61.2, exactly the bantamweight limit, and a height of 165 centimeters. His record stands at 5-2, but do not be deceived, this man has not ever been in a boring fight.
Both of these men have a background in some sort of striking art. Kule being a 2-time national champion in kickboxing with a kickboxing record of 7-2. That is an impressive striking resume right there. And
definitely, the experience definitely does carry over to the cage. It's just, can he mix it up with some of the grappling?
That is what it will come down to.
And Ruben Jobs is coming in with an MMA record of 5-2, a boxing record of 2-0, a kickboxing record of 3-0, and he is the RCFA under 60 champ. That makes him a champion in more than one amateur MMA promotion at a time. So if anyone qualifies for a BMF title fight, it is definitely Mr. Ruben Job.
And Ruben has done so much with the mixed martial arts in Cape Town as a whole. We've seen him compete at UMC, we've seen him compete at PFC, we see him a lot here at the BMC stage, and he's just everywhere, and everywhere he is, he brings the fire with him.
And he's fought in many different weight classes. He's the flyweight champion. He's fighting today at 61. He doesn't mind where the fight goes. Weight isn't a factor for him. His skills carry him.
Our promoter just having a chat with Gufler prior to his fight. We are not exactly sure what the discussion is about, but we will find out soon. Talk about a BMF fight.
And for the first time tonight, we have Go for Broke going for a fight. They always come to these BMC events and always bring high caliber competition. So you can look for an interesting fight.
And I believe fighting out of Go for Broke, we have a national champion, Hannah.
Oh yes, in the youth division, yes. Definitely. She won her finals by armbar, in fact, which is her signature move at the moment. I'm sure she'll have more in the future, but yeah, very, very, very talented prospect that's coming up through the kids' ranks.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight is a title fight for the men's BMF title. This is going to be a 5-rounder.
Ooh.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Go for Broke MMA and Fitness.
Ooh.
Please welcome Kule Miso.
That she wrote, speech to the young. Speech to the progress toward. Say to them, say to the down keepers, the sun slappers, the self-soilers, the harmony ushers, even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. Sir, flex I do work, 6 of like Mike, he's out of sight, whoa, they got me pipe.
And Kule Miso is coming in at age 22 with a weight of 53. His height is 167 centimeters and his record is 1-0. There's a considerable size difference, it seems, between these two athletes, which might be what puts it on the BMF stage.
We gon' blaze our way out the grave, dog. Living, speaking, praise God. Walking out the graveyard back to life. I serve, follow your word. See what you
Tristan, believe me when I say this kid is an exciting fighter. You cannot blink. You do not want to miss a moment of this. I've seen a lot of his kickboxing fights and he has such a dynamic style.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the red corner.
What?
Representing Fighters Inc. Please welcome Ruben Job.
Well, we had Pretty Boy before, and now we have Rude Boy.
How about that? You know, Cape Town. Let me tell you something about Cape Town MMA. There is nothing like it. The athletes that we have here, how they fit into their roles so beautifully, and everyone has their place, and everyone lives up to expectations.
Now, Ruben Job is coming in at 25 years of age, and there's a significant weight difference here if he is walking around at 61.2 kilos, exactly the bantamweight limit. He is also 165 centimeters with a record of 5-2. But if you watch him walk into the cage, he looks like he has the experience that we have mentioned before in his boxing, MMA, and kickboxing bouts. He is just calm, cool, collected. He's got a slight charisma, riz, as he walks into the cage. He definitely walks around like he owns the place when he's in there, as a champion should.
Come with that energy, cause some shit gon' always stick with me. They wanna know what I brought to Griselda. I say,
and what an exciting style he has, and you can really see his personality come to life in his fighting style. That rude boy personality, he's in your face and he's not worried about you. It's his moment and he takes his moment.
Let's go. About time that I got my respect.
Come give me a piece of it. A referee in charge, Ruben Foreign.
Kule Miso definitely a BMF for taking this fight, just so that we could have, just so they could both fight and we could have another one on the card. And with someone like Ruben's caliber, we definitely needed a title on the line.
Coolly coming with the slight height advantage, which is quite interesting, being the smaller fighter. We'll see if he wants to use that range, and it appears so, as he has his front arm out, keeping the range. Ruben with a vicious flurry early in the round, and there's that rude boy. He's in your face. He says, bring it.
I reckon we're not going to see much of the ground in this fight, considering both men enjoy a good scrap on the feet. That being said, if one of them get pressured a little bit too much, we might find that there's a shot.
Beautiful angles from Kutle. You can see he's a very experienced striker. Very calm under pressure, seeing those shots, getting the angle. But Ruben now in the clinch with the more dominant position, pushing him against the cage.
Nice. Miso needs to try and turn sort of side to side, get his hips off that cage, try and follow his butt to get out of there, or get a deeper underhook, try and get a leg through for maybe some judo throws. But Ruben applying the pressure really well right now.
And in these 5-round fights, these early pressures, it really does build up, having someone weighing on you, having someone pushing up against you the entire time. And for a striker, that is ideally what you want to do. You want to get them a little bit tired in the first round, get that feet moving a bit slow, and then you can get right back to the striking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what makes mixed martial arts, is that you can wrestle someone, make them tired, and then put them back on their feet and strike with them a lot easier, because they don't have that same bounce, that same rhythm, the same pep in their step. Oh, lovely knees.
Beautiful knees. And I would imagine Kruger having the slight speed advantage as he is lighter. So beautiful strategy here by Ruben, getting him tired. But Kruger is using that space very well, landing those knees straight up the middle.
And now Kruger on the top. But again, composure. We've spoken about that word all day. There's Ruben's composure. But both men seem to have it in this fight. Both men seem to be able to take a second, breathe, adjust.
And this is where it comes into having so many fights prior to your MMA career. Because if you look at it, Kruger has been in a fight about 8 times before coming into MMA, and then he still has that cage experience, so he's no stranger to the cage. But Ruben again having more experience inside the cage.
Absolutely. He definitely has more experience in total. He's had more boxing, more MMA and kickboxing fights when you put them all together. So in terms of combat experience, there is a slight edge to Ruben in this one as well.
But Kukle doing very, very well. He is the underdog coming into this fight, seeing if he can walk away with the BMF title.
That would be the most BMF thing he could possibly do, is to pull off a title heist and come in and beat the champ in a non-title or in a non-flyweight bout, taking him on in a slightly heavier weight and fighting him with the weight difference as well, not just a heavier weight to where he is champion, but heavier to you. So Kukle showing a lot of spirit in this fight, and I'm sure he's going to get some expert advice from his corner and come back well adjusted.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to round 2 of a possible 5. Kukle opening up with an inside leg kick. Beautiful. Ooh, and these two are taking shots. And Ruben is landing the better shots. And Kukle very... Ooh.
And the throw. Very, very good fight IQ. You don't need to take any more damage to the head, to the brain, to the body in this fight than necessary. So yes, take him down.
And Ruben comes on top with the better position, landing those shots. Those are significant shots, and he keeps hammering away at them.
And look at that Dagestani handcuff he was using. That was absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful cage work from Ruben so far. And it looked like a lot of those shots were rocking Kukle, but that's the thing with having the puffy hair. You never really know if it was the shot that was making the head whip, so if it was just the hair that made it look as dramatic.
Absolutely. That left no question. That was indeed dramatic. A nice slam to the ground from Mr. Ruben Job.
Showing beautiful judo here today on display. He is not just a striker, ladies and gentlemen. He's got that ground game. He is a complete fighter.
Did I say we were going to have a striking match today? Apparently, I was incorrect. Both men have been engaging in grappling through most of this round. Beautiful transitions from Mr. Ruben.
And Ruben has flattened Kukle out. He has the full back mount. Will he transition to the ground and pound?
Oh, what a little scramble getting himself out of that back position. But now he's landed from the iron into the fire.
And Ruben being very patient on top, not rushing anything, but just keeping that heavy pressure. When you've got 5 rounds, there's no need to rush anything. You enjoy your time in there. When the finish comes, it will come. And it looks like we are very close to a finish here, but Kukle doing very well of not staying flat on his back.
You never want to rush a submission. Submissions are and it looks like he wants to tap, but are we there? And there we go. And the BMF has a name, and it is Ruben Job. We have the Gun Show podcast going in for an interview. Technically BMC's very first champ, as he is the flyweight champ and the BMF champ. Who is next? That is the question. What is next? Title defense of his flyweight title or a title defense of his BMF title. Look at these exchanges. If these are not BMF worthy exchanges, I don't know what is. Some of them are not the most technical, but they are some fun. I mean, look at that slam. Look at that slam. No good intentions were meant with that. And then he just finishes it with a beautiful head and arm.
Applause for both fighters. Your winner and your new BMF title holder champion is Ruben Joe.
Brazil this shit, you know what I mean? You know what it is, nigga. When I show up, I'm on 10, nigga, not 9. On the night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying, the real one's here, the young boy that walked with lions, around the outlines of chalk where the corpse is lying. Of course I'm trying to revive a sport that's dying, but the guns and the drug bars that y'all relying, got these nerves thinking that you niggas hard as iron, but that just mean I ain't as comfortable as y'all with lying, stretching the truth, no I never stress in the booth, they feel the pressure, me I feel like I just left them masseuse, effortless, how I'm skating on these records is proof, I put your favorite rapper neck in the noose, never letting them loose, cold world, the heat of blast of your speaker, he the last of Mohicans, no weaklings, last in my sneakers, nigga want me on the song, he gon' see the wrath of the reaper, I'm probably gon' go to
BMF is just enjoying a celebration, and then we will have the interview with the Gun Show podcast.
Collecting his bread and mass like he a Catholic preacher. Just to count a nigga cash, you might need a calculus teacher. Eureka, Einstein on the brink of the theory of relativity. Really no MC equal. Feel me, co-pimp be lethal. Crip like an old MTV show. On God, the best rapper alive. Headshot, now go and ask the best rappers that died. They tell you he never lied, nigga. Yeah. Tenor talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your new BMF champion, Ruben Rude Boy Job. How are you feeling, champ?
Yeah, I'm feeling blessed, truly honored, to have this belt, and I can only say thank you to God, to my Savior, Jesus Christ. Honestly, without Him, none of this is possible. All to Him only.
And now BMF champion as well as BMC Flyweight champion. You have 2 belts now. What can we expect next from the Rude Boy?
Honestly, I don't want to be here too long. I think I might just do one more amateur and then I'm out of here. We're going pro, baby. We're going pro. We have to now. It's that time.
Nice. And lastly, a shout out to your coaches and the team and everyone that helped you in preparation.
Woo! Barebones! Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Everyone coming out. I just want to thank my team, Fighter Sing. I want to thank my coaches. Coach Vidal, everyone that's been with me in my corner. I love you guys. Thank you to the sponsor, Grand Capital. 10 G's, baby. Where you at? Let's go. Why not? And big shout out to Artery, OTT. Here's where I'm at. Come link me. Woo!
And new BMF champion, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, our next fight is probably the one I am personally most excited about. We have a men's bantamweight contender fight between Mma Edwards from House of Combat and Damian Muller from CDS MMA Namibia. Both these men have competed on the on the international stage. Mma Edwards has gone all the way to the youth worlds with his martial arts, and Damian Muller has won Africa's 2 times in a row as an adult. Now, how do these two styles collide? This is Mma Edwards' first adult fight. It is the first fight that he has had where he is taking headshots. All of the fights he's had in MMA thus far have been without headshots. However, he is one of the more experienced people on the card already, standing in at 18 years old with a weight of 61. His height is 168, and this is technically his debut. However, he has had 15 wins in BJJ and 7 losses, and then he has in MMA 10 wins and 7 losses, but that is at the highest level. He is also a silver medalist at Africa Champs and a BJJ blue belt. Damian Muller coming in at 27 years old and he is 163 centimeters. His MMA record is 7-2, and like I mentioned before, he is a 2-time African champion.
So I've just been informed Uma's youth record was not up on the screen. That is why it said his debut. It is his adult debut, but this is a very experienced fighter. Like mentioned earlier, making appearances at IMF World Championships, and he has gone to every single SA Championships since 2021 for 4 consecutive years, podiuming all 4 years.
Placing all 4 years. And that's getting extremely close to gold every single time. And because he's got silver as many times as he has, now he's ready to
Ladies
be
and gentlemen,
an African
thank you for your
champ.
patience. Our next fight
Or
of
at
the
least
evening
attempt
is
it.
a men's bantamweight contender. The winner of this bout gets to fight for the title at BMC 8. Introducing first, representing CDS MMA Namibia, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Damian Muller.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones, and
in walks the 2-time Africa champion. We have already mentioned his stats, but one of the stats have been corrected. He actually has 8 wins, not 7. And he's aged out of the 27-year-old category and is now a 28-year-old. That means that there is about 10 years difference between these two fighters.
That is something to think about. But this is the adult scene, and the age difference can be as far as imaginable, especially in this local scene where there isn't as many competitors to split the divisions between junior and senior.
Well, definitely, and I think a man at 18 and a man at 27, they definitely develop slightly differently. However, what the younger man has is he will have less damage to the body 9 times out of 10. He will have more energy and endurance 9 times out of 10. he will be less scared to take certain risks because certain things have not happened to him. However, that being said, this is an
Ladies and gentlemen,
extremely...
his opponents, fighting out of the
This
red
is-
corner, representing House of Combat. Please welcome Umar Edwards.
Listen to this reception for Umar Edwards. I can barely hear myself think, and Umar hasn't even shown his face yet.
Umar is definitely the crowd favorite going into this fight, and he's just an amazing guy all around.
Not the pink house.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, what are we gonna do now with this man? We'll have to back up the youngster. You know what to do.
Umar Edwards walking out with the 420 doctor support. Listen to the crowd erupt, and that is the man himself making his adult debut. That is him. There he is, carrying South Africa's flag over his shoulders.
Where I come from is not the puzzle, Lord.
The hype behind this kid.
We have mentioned all of his stats already, but they're up on the screen if you need them. He has Terence Balelo, the Black Panther, in his corner. Coach Hayden, yet again. And there he is, Mr. Connor Teagues, just over the shoulder.
And as an amazing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, so you can imagine how the camp has been. From
Shout out to
training at
Southside and Southside Grappling, my apologies.
Nice. And Umar has told me for this camp he has been training at Southside Grappling, he's been at House of Combat, he's been training with Umar. He was a part of Terence Balelo's camp for his EFC fight.
Indeed. He
And
was
he-
a big part of the camp.
And he came straight off of that camp into his own camp with Balelo in his camp as one of his main training partners.
And just like when Tumelo came and spoke with us and told us how he lifted the energy in the gym, he brought everyone up with him. Terence Balelo, he's definitely done the same thing. And in a gym like this, when you have people that tight-knit, what tends to happen, oh, listen to that, I can barely get a word in with the crowd going off. Definitely the house favorite over here. Take it all in.
Hype is real, ladies and gentlemen. Umar Edwards. Oh, let me tell you, I am so excited for this fight, I can hardly contain myself.
Well, Gunshow, you actually fought Mr. Umar Edwards way back when in the youth scene. What can you tell me about his style and what he is as a competitor?
What I can tell you is I am a fan of this man. I am a massive fan of Umar Edwards. I love his style, I love his character, I love his charisma. He has everything you need to make a superstar. And this is where stars are made, and we're starting the first round. Damien starting off strong.
But
Umar on
Umar's
the back
composed.
foot.
Damien's against the cage. We've got a strong start from Umar. Very nice.
Umar has stated that he does like the striking exchanges, but Damien coming off very strong with the striking in the beginning. We'll see how this fight plays out.
Damien coming off very aggressive. He wants this win.
Hey! Umar with the beautiful Uchi. Oh! Umar with the head kick.
What a way to fight back. What a
Hype is real, ladies and gentlemen. Umar Edwards
Damien is fighting
here.
back. What heart to come back from a headshot like that. And here we are in a hockey fight in the clinch. Oh! This could be on the world stage, gentlemen. This is beautiful.
This is a world-class fight right here, ladies and gentlemen, between the African champ and number 2 at All Africa champs, Umar Edwards. You can hear the crowd is going crazy.
Absolutely spectacular so far. Umar Edwards has lived up to the hype, and this is by no means a walk in the park. But I think, again, the word of the day is composure. Umar just seems to be a little bit more composed, even with all the fans and the lights and the hype.
And Umar looking for the backhand. He get the finish in round one. It looks like he's on.
This is one of his favorites. He loves the rear neck.
And he gets the finish. Umar Edwards. Oh my goodness. Making his BFC debut. The crowd goes insane. The crowd goes insane. Umar Edwards.
He says one thing very simply, I am him.
And he is him, ladies and gentlemen. And that is him.
The crowd favorite, and he wins by spectacular finish. What a beautiful fight from both men. Well done to Damian Muller for a spectacular performance here today against a man that definitely had youth on his side. He did not quit for a second until it was too late. Mr. Umar Edward comes in, and again, composure, composure, composure. He kept a cool head and walks in with the KFC bucket.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission, Umar Edwards.
Something we can nibble with tea and chicken curry, eat the crumbs and the crumbs. I told them all ganja, cake hip hop is hardcore. B-boys on the dance floor, graffiti art on walls. Mr. Selector play a vinyl set, king of the mother city jungle on the.
It's always lovely to see sportsmanship from our athletes, win, lose or draw.
Numbers in the system go to Clifton. And everybody's coming to the western region. They must love Kaapstad during the festive season. Women weeding weather like big.
Shout out to Southside Grappling, where Umar did a lot of his jiu-jitsu. In fact, all of his jiu-jitsu was done with Connor down at Southside. Connor, a spectacular grappling coach. Very young in age, but not experienced.
We be saying it's the one and only CPT.
And there's the finish. Sinks it in, no problem. He had an expert corner. He had pro fighters, very, very good wrestlers, and a fantastic jiu-jitsu specialist. Over now to the gun show.
And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Umar Edwards. As you can hear, the crowd is just going crazy. After a performance like that, what can you say?
You know, just want to say thanks to everyone that came out to support me. I draw strength from you guys, really. Without you, I'm nothing. Shout out to my team, Coach Aiden. CPT Wrestling for MMA, Terence Balelo, Southside Grappling, Connor, Coach Lee, Dr. Lee, what did I say? A head kick. Let's go, you know. Yeah, I'm coming for everyone, everything, coming for everyone. You guys, been waiting for this. I'm here, it's my time, let's go.
And you are next in line to fight for the title. Any message to your opponent?
Nothing but respect to Kieran. But I'm going to have to come and take a belt off you, brother. I'm coming for everything. It's my time. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm fighting for my dreams. Let's go.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Umar Edwards.
right, we have the men's interim featherweight title between former BMC featherweight champion and returning Xander Cronje.
Ladies and gentlemen, our penultimate fight of the evening. This one is BMC featherweight interim title. Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Knockout Center. Please welcome Xander Cronje.
Making his way to the cage. An exciting fighter coming out of Knockout Center with Coach Cornet right behind him and his brother in his corner, the former lightweight champion, Cronje.
Xander's coming in at the age of 27 with a weight of 65 kilos and 175 centimeters in height.
Xander's actual MMA record is 1-0 as he has competed in BMC before, but he is a 12-time SA wrestling champion. And he also placed third at African Championships 2024 for wrestling. But I was talking to the knockout team earlier and they were saying his striking has improved so much in this camp, they would not be surprised to see the knockout from his camp.
Yes, I was told the same thing, in fact. With the wrestling pedigree that he has, and the striking style that we have seen from his brother. His brother is by no means a wrestler the same as him. They are two completely different box of frogs that you're dealing with. And if he's been taking notes from his brother and improving, he might well be one of the more well-rounded fighters that we've seen in the BMC.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent fighting out of the red corner, representing House of Combat. Please welcome Claudie Easy.
And Claudie making his way to the cage. Interesting fact, Claudie has a background in judo. So on the one side you've got a wrestling champ and a judo practitioner on the other side.
And yet again, House of Combat. We have not seen the House of Combat lose today. Not a single fighter. As we just saw with Uma Edwards, not a single fighter has lost in this gym so far. And if he has judo already, and then he meets up with Hayden, who has the wrestling pedigree that he has, that's a dangerous combination on the floor. This man is 28 years of age with a weight of 64 kilograms. His height is 174 with a record of 5-0.
A perfect record of 5-0. And with a few of those coming by way of submission. I can't recall the exact number, but I have seen it here in this BMC stage as well as on the PFC stage. So he's bringing a lot of MMA experience into this fight, but Xander is ready for the challenge.
This is a very interesting grappling matchup. If you look at the pedigree of wrestling that Xander has, and then you look at the background that Mr. Globey has, and the combination of his particular style of wrestling for MMA is exactly what Hayden is the best at, is he does wrestling specific to MMA. Adding the strikes, best positions with the goal of the victory in the MMA rule set. It is different when you're grappling without strikes. The game changes completely. You punch a black belt in the face hard enough and it becomes a brown belt. You do it again, they'll become a purple belt, and so on and so forth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a featherweight interim title. the winner of this fight will be unifying the featherweight belt in their next bout. And here we go, co-main event of the evening. Zander in blue, Glody in red. Glody opening up with a massive combination just out of range. Zander looking beautifully with the footwork, hopping in and out of range like that. We can see the improvement in the striking and the work put in.
That was a nice entry, stuffed by Glody though.
But that is where the question comes in. Can the judo counter the wrestling?
Is that a standing submission or is he going to get shook off?
Oh, and Zander transitions into the mount. He's more safe over here. Just now he's across the body, which is a good position.
Now with the judo background, they do tend to prioritize throws and sweeps. So grips around the neck for leverage to throw as opposed to a choke is not that uncommon. On the other hand, Zander, with the top pressure, that's exactly where a wrestler wants to be. A wrestler wants to be on top, he wants to be applying pressure, and if that submission is not in, then that is a good position for Zander. Those knees are exactly the kinds of things he's trying to be landing, but he needs to keep his weight down or Glody is going to roll him right over.
And Glody tried to go deep under, but Zander has now trapped the hand, getting into a sort of crucifix-like position as he transitions over, looking for that submission.
Ooh.
He has it in. Could this be it? Beautiful defense from Glody. Really good knees from Zander. And you can see just from his posture what kind of a wrestling background he has, as opposed to a lot of the fighters that have the low hips. He's a bit higher and pressuring in with the shoulders.
100%. Oh, the ground and pound.
He has now transitioned into full mount.
He's trying to pin that bicep so that the arm can't defend him. Or rather defend Glody so that he can hit it. And boom, beautiful transition onto the back.
He went for the submission attempt, didn't quite get it, but used it to transition into the back take. As he works on that arm, he's really looking to get that arm.
I'm surprised. A lot of the time with wrestlers, what you'll find is when they're on top, they prioritize the ground and pound. But Zander seems to transition very nicely into submissions and positions to get these submissions. And as I say that, we have a submission victory by the wrestling champion. Now both of the brothers have been BMC champions in some capacity, interim or otherwise.
And excitement from the knockout team as their fighter gets the win. Philip just brimming with excitement.
What a finish. Right under the chin, fully extended. Absolutely fantastic way to win. Again, finishes. All finishes all the way through the card. That seems to be how we're going.
Big round of applause for both fighters. Winner of the BMC interim title, your champion, Zander Cronje.
Yeah, I said it, you can call me Caesar, in a dark Caesar, please follow the leader, so Eric B. we are, microphone fiend, it's the return of the God, peace God, ain't nobody fresher, I'm in Mason, Mark and Margella on the table screaming, fuck the other side, they jealous, we got a banquet full of bras, they got a table full of fellas, yeah, and they ain't spending no cake, they should throw their hand in, cause they ain't got no spade, my whole team got dough, so my bank account is looking like millionaires sprawl.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. So I keep doing my own thing. Walking tall against the rain. Victories within the miles. Almost there, don't give up now. Only thing that's on my mind is who gon' run this town alive.
Joe Blow, to everybody on the
Ladies and gentlemen, your interim champion, Xander Cronje. Beautiful performance. Coming in, making it 2-0 in the BMC cage. How do you feel right now?
No, this is an unbelievable feeling. I just want to say thanks for Coach and Philip for my preparation, and thanks for my friends and family that came supported me. Nothing but respect for my opponent. He did a great fight.
Nice. And with the interim championship, you're going to be unifying the belt. What can we expect to see in that fight?
Devin took my belt. I'm now coming to take it back.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, Xander Cronje.
The name of this BMC event was Return of the King, and nothing could be more fitting than a king getting his crown back.
Oh, what a fight card so far, eh? Just bangers on bangers. And we have the heavyweight banger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. It is your BMC main event.
One more fight and it is the heavyweight fight. You can always expect a heavyweight fight is probably, most likely, not going to get to the finish. We're not going all the way to a decision in this one. I can almost guarantee it. Aku has fists the size of most people's head and can knock out a cow if he needed to. And both these men are heavyweights, big heavyweights. So,
Herde Zeng coming in at 25 years of age, weighing in at 108 kilograms. Height of 198 centimeters. That is a tall man with a fight record of 2-2. Aku, our heavyweight champion, with a similar record of 2-2, coming in at age 27. Weighing in at 118 kilograms, 10 kilogram difference, and his height is 193 centimeters.
I think that weight is the biggest difference between the two of
our final
them.
fight of the evening.
It's the one we've been waiting
This is
for.
The BMC heavyweight title. Don't blink. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing CDS MMA Namibia. Please welcome Herne Zeng.
There is the man himself, Mr. Zeng, with a slight height advantage. When these two fighters faced off this morning, it was nearly scary to be in the same room as the two of them. You have this one guy that's just absolutely enormous. You have to look up towards him, and then you've got Aku, like you've mentioned. His hands, my word.
And it's not often that you find two men that are not only the size, but athletic at this size, where you can see that they are in good shape. They're not blown up middleweights that are fighting two weight classes above that don't want to cut weight to get in shape. These are two genuine heavyweights. We have a Godzilla versus King Kong type situation here.
Perfect way to describe it. And we cannot wait for this main event. BMC 7, we are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, representing the Performance Institute, please welcome Aku Okafor.
And making his way to the cage, our BMC heavyweight champion, Aku.
This is another man with a lot of support in the arena. You can hear it. I'm having to strain my voice just to speak in the microphone because the people around here seem to enjoy this man.
And behind the man is the PI, the best team in the world, backing their heavyweight champion. Correction, best.
Just listen to the crowd kick off. And it's not just his gym. Other gyms support him. He has support all across the Western Cape. It's very cool to see different gyms rally together behind their hometown hero.
Are you ready for this one? Do not blink. Do not miss a moment. This is it right here. What we've all been waiting for. The moment is upon us. Referee in charge, Ruben Farim. The crowd can hardly contain themselves.
I think Ruben is the only ref we have that could separate the two of these men.
True. Oh, and a very tactical.
Well, this is
start
heavyweight.
to the fight.
Heavyweight is not bantamweight. They are going to go nice, probably a little slower. There will be more power, so every move means more. Every subtle inch.
These guys are not wasting any movement. They are looking for that inside line. Zeng opening with a beautiful straight left that met the target. Aku looking very light on his feet. He's been popping those kicks, and it's very fast kicks.
If you look in his eyes, he has, again, the word of the day, follows all the way through to the final fight, composure.
And what composure from both men, being very strategical about their approach. It's a game of inches, ladies and gentlemen. They are playing chess right now.
When you have power, the way that heavyweights have power, all it takes is one shot. So you can't overcommit to any of these shots. You need to give as just enough, maybe get them to overcommit, because you don't need to land 3 or 4 shots on the jaw. It takes one. And often it's not even full swing, because just because you are a big person doesn't always mean that you can take that power that comes from a big person. If a truck runs into another truck, they're still going to get damaged. You know what I mean?
That is true, and these are 2 trucks we have right here now, BMZ. And back to the action. Nice. Zheng is landing those jabs beautifully. Hey, it's quick jab straight down the middle, just piercing his head. And a beautiful 1-2.
Again, one shot, and you need to keep that composure. That seems to be a key for heavyweight striking. And here we are against the cage. Let's see what other skills these gentlemen have.
Good cage control from Aku.
Using that cage to wear his opponent down. Nice toe stomps, a la Kamaru Usman.
We don't see a lot, but very creative.
Yeah.
Very effective.
I like the way he's using his lower body. Stomping the feet, kneeing the legs, really making him have to work.
Yeah, he's controlling the upper body with his arms, and he's making work with those legs. And those knees are devastating.
And remember, this is a title fight. So those knees, those are going to add up. If he can't move around, then there's absolutely no way he can strike, and it makes things a lot easier for Aku.
But Zheng, with the forward pressure, he keeps moving forward. None of it has stunned him. Beautiful 1-2 entry straight into the clinch.
Zen trying to come back with the knees, yeah. And now they're both in a battle of the lower body at the moment, using their upper bodies to tie each other up, and then really just drilling into the legs.
Can you imagine the force that they must be kneeing each other with right now? And let me tell you, a knee is something that completely obliterates the muscle. You will have dead tissue around that spot. It is a sharp tool, and it's a very vicious tool. And this fight will go on to round 2.
Let's see how the stamina goes, because heavyweight fighters sadly often don't have the stamina to carry that muscle through the later rounds. So let's see, as this fight progresses, who has more stamina, who has more energy, and at the end of the day, who uses their tactics better. Because a lot of the time, like you mentioned before, it is this game of inches. It's this game of millimeters even, where 1 inch might as well be a mile, because if they nick you, they drop you.
That is true. And we can expect they drop. I honestly do not expect this fight to go the distance, but neither of these men are just swinging to the fence. They are being very smart about it. They are picking their entries very well, and both of the fighters, all of their shots are sharp, on target, accurate. That comes to play with the athleticism that they show in this heavyweight division. Because look at that, man.
So that comes down to quality over quantity. The shots you land, make them count. Hit the right spots. Don't waste your punches and your energy, especially like we mentioned, you're carrying all that extra energy. Sorry about that, gentlemen and ladies. But you're carrying all that extra energy. So why waste it with unnecessary shots that aren't going to get you anything? So feint and fake until you can get them on the chin.
BMC crowd being heard for Aku.
It is so cool to see the Western Cape scene just come together like this.
A few years ago, none of this was possible.
Absolutely. A few years ago, there weren't many MMA organizations in the Western Cape at all, really. COVID kind of killed a lot of that. And then only a few years ago, we started up with the BMC, and Lyndall's done a fantastic job of bringing us some of the most fantastic fights we could get in the Western Cape.
And look at the caliber of these fighters.
I mean, now we've got international fighters. These are Namibian fighters. This is essentially a continental battle that we have been having.
DRC versus Namibia right here.
DRC. Oh, so we have representation from the Congo as well.
Yes,
all right, and I'm guessing that was a shot to the cup. There we go. Ready to go right away. No break necessary. I must say, at the moment, Aku is looking a little bit more composed. There's something to be said when the crowd starts cheering against you, and so loudly.
Beautiful lift from Zheng. But Zeng he looks like he's in his element. He's flowing, he's popping that jab. He's a little bit more active in the striking now.
100%. But again, like we said before, quality over quantity. Who's landing the more consistent, damaging shots? Well, right now, those shots are starting to add up. So the question starts to flip on itself at that point.
Nice.
I like that bounce. Oh, very good.
Beautiful 1-2 from Aku. That two seemed to land.
And he throws himself at Zeng so that they land on the cage. And now he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Lovely knee from Zeng.
And these men continue to go in the clinch. And Aku again with those toe stomps.
Very Kamaru Usman style, but I like the attack of the lower body. People often underestimate how much damage they can do. Lovely strike on the break from Zeng. I like that bouncy style.
He's got a very nice bounce to him. And he seems quite light on his feet.
Yes,
although
even,
he's a heavyweight.
Even with the shots to the knee, or with the knee to his leg, he seems to have had no damage in terms of endurance or in being able to keep that bounce going.
Yeah, we would have expected those attacks to the legs from Aku earlier to really start affecting him in these rounds. But maybe those toe stomps will prove to pay dividends later in the fight.
Adrenaline, man. Adrenaline is a hell of a thing. There's so many times you won't feel those kinds of things. But if they're drilling hard enough, the leg will go dead nonetheless.
Hey man, if you break your toe, I don't know how you're gonna do all that fancy footwork. But we are moving on to round 3, ladies and gentlemen. Always such a fun time in the commentary booth. With Coach Tristan, he is the Western Province Team Assistant Coach, bringing his experience to you guys at home watching over the live stream. And some replays from our round. Zeng with the more combos landed. He was doing a nice little blitzing in, and he would land 1 or 2. But if he didn't, that third one would always catch him on the end and straight into the clinch.
It reminds me a little bit of a heavyweight MVP with that bounce. He doesn't have as much activity, but he kind of comes on the same straight line, the same bounce, similar combinations. Definitely does some tape study on MVP, I'm sure.
Interesting fact, he says John Jones has had a big influence on him and his style, and I believe he has met John Jones as well.
Well, if you get to meet people like that and pick their brain, it really makes a big difference in terms of the way that you focus and continue to train after that. But let's see if that ends up paying dividends in this fight against our BMC champion. Thus far, it seems very back and forth. I don't quite know who to give that last round to, but I'm tending to lean towards Zhang on that one. So I think we're around a piece, but these are very close rounds.
These are very close rounds, and they could go either way on the judges' scorecard, depending at what angle you look at it with. And we head on to round 3 of a possible 5. Zeng with a beautiful left hand early in the round. And he says, and he's protesting a groin strike, but he moves forward. He brushes it off, and he continues. When you have someone hurt like that, although that groin strike may hurt, but you don't want to lose that momentum. You want to carry it through.
I like the switching of stance from Aku, giving him a new look. And he takes that jab away almost entirely. See, you have to play this hand fighting game because there's traffic in the way. You can't get that jab through, and boom, the backhand. There we go. You got to talk about the center line. The center line is where you're going to get it down, and that too is what's on the center line, not the jab.
And the opening for the body kick in the open stance is a big one, and we've seen some knees from out of stance from Zeng, so he might possibly blitz in with the 1-2 and finish off with the knee to the
changing
body.
stance, not for long though. Also, once you go into the open stance, there becomes a slight foot battle. Not everyone engages in it the same way, and there aren't any specific rules in any direction, but the general rule of thumb
would be to circle to the outside of that. And I guess in most scenarios you want to circle to the outside.
Away from that power hand and...
But Zhang is keeping that jab flowing.
That lead hand is active from Zhang, and he looks like he's getting into his element right here. And a beautiful, beautiful knee to the body from Zhang.
It looks at the moment like the question we asked earlier about who is going to have more cardio, who's going to be able to do this for longer, is swaying towards the lighter man by 10 kilos. He doesn't have to carry that extra weight around. And while in terms of power it may help you, in terms of endurance it most certainly does not.
Beautiful knees from Zhang. And in the back we have our local Achi the Kraken representing the KFC bucket. Shout out Achi.
Shout out KFC.
I hope he gives me a piece. These men continue to battle in the clinch, and they fighting over body position, who has the best posture in this position. And it's also a test of not compromising your position while you are going for this knee strike, as it is quite easy to get the takedown off of a knee.
100%. But you see how Zhang he's not there anymore.
And
but
someone opened the back door.
But Zhang had moved himself to the side and then started throwing the knees to the leg. But they're much harder to catch from that angle. Plus, if you've got a body lock and their arms are above that body lock, it makes it hard to reach down and reap the leg.
Coach Carlos looking very happy with his fighter. His fighter is doing very good thus far, and this fight is going into the later rounds, and now cardio will really show. But then again, it only takes one shot. Over here, we see a beautiful knee to the body from Zhang, and he clinched up that double unders, which he used to control, and the finish to the end of the round, just putting a cherry on top.
So now we're going into the championship rounds. Could it be that this doesn't get finished and we go to a decision? If that's the case, at the moment it tends to favor Zhang. Zhang has been more active and he doesn't seem to be slowing down. Aku has a lot of power. Aku is a very good fighter. Aku has a good fight IQ. But you have to be able to carry that through rounds when you go against competitors who are at exactly the same level as you and have answers to all the questions that you pose.
And Zhang seems to have all the answers today, and Aku just...
Face off between rounds.
Oh, wow. Because why not?
Just to add some tension to the room. After you fight 3 rounds, have a stare down and do the championship rounds. Are you ready, folks?
Get real.
Let's get ready to fight and go.
Round 4, both of these men still in it. You can see Aku moving his head, eyes locked on the target.
But there's definitely a labored movement there. When it comes to heavyweight MMA, the more active, the fitter person, the more athletic person, that person, if there's an even skill, oh, look at that. If there's anything in terms of even skills, then the fight will tend to go longer. Then the person who can last longer, they'll either find a finish when you're tired, or they'll just take you to the decision.
And Zhang's doing very well, staying composed, picking his shots.
Not overcommitting at all.
He's very crisp with his striking. You can see he's looking for the shots and he's finding them. Every single punch he's throwing is finding Aku's chin.
Aku's looking for nice, big shots. So as Zhang blitzes in, Aku wants to get him on the way in. That is his best shot at a knockout. And right now, a knockout seems to be his best shot.
Zhang looks like he is teeing off. He has pushed Aku against the fence, and those combos keep flying. Those hands are fast.
The Namibian supporters are on their feet right now, making almost as much noise as the South Africans were when Aku walked out. Aku gives a slight smile.
He says, bring it. Could Namibia go home with a heavyweight champion?
Or can Aku get the come from behind victory? If anyone can get a knockout in 0 seconds flat, it is definitely this man.
Oh, and saying with the beautiful combo. That 1-2, it's landing every single time. And it seems that his hands have been getting faster as the rounds have been going.
I don't think his hands have been getting faster. I think Aku has been getting tired. So the hands that Aku are throwing don't give him as much resistance. So he can just throw when he wants. So we're seeing his hands go a little bit more because Aku can't defend them as much because he's more tired.
Beautiful knees to the body. And that really does play because the more tired Aku gets, the slower his defense is, the slower his movement is. He becomes more of a sitting duck.
I hear people that are screaming for him to punch at certain moments, but it's very hard when you can't lift your arms, when the adrenaline's kicked in and you've been fighting for 3-4 rounds against another human at this weight.
And it was just chowing that leg with the knees a moment ago.
Zhang just being super busy. Super busy. Let's see if Aku comes out the corner because he looks defeated in the face at the moment, but if he can pull this out of the fire, I will be very impressed with the BMC champ. It's kind of swapped into it. Because that's not Luke Michael, you know.
See the best in Africa catering to their fighter. Can Aku get the finish? The moment of truth is upon us. Will Herb continue to tee off? Will Aku get the comeback victory? Will there be a knockout? Will it be a decision? Let's find out some sportsmanship from the two athletes as their journeys are forever connected.
We are going to need a serious performance out of Aku for this particular round. He had a good start, but since then Zhang has just slowly been building up steam. We said Max Holloway, my bad. We said MVP earlier, but I'm seeing some Max Holloway in the way that he starts and ends at the same pace. So when you're watching it, like you mentioned earlier, it appears to be moving faster.
Yes.
But what's happening is his opponent is moving slower. So relatively, it looks a lot faster.
Can expect very good conditioning from the CDS camp, as we have not seen any of their fighters gas today.
We haven't seen any of their fighters go 5 rounds, but up until this point, 3 rounds in, they've all put on really good pace, and not a single one of them have gassed out. So really impressive from this gym, CDS MMA Namibia. Shout out for bringing such talent to BMC South Africa.
But the question is, will CDS be going home with the heavyweight championship? And another beautiful stiff jab.
He kind of jumps in with that jab, like he kind of skips and he throws his body in, so it becomes a lot stiffer than what a regular jab would be. It's closer to like a straight or a cross.
He's darting into it and he's meeting the target every single time, and it plays nicely with that bounce that he has, because it works as a fake and a feint, and you never know when he comes in.
Watch him playing with this guard. I've watched him do this a few times now. He'll slap on the guard and come around. There we go. Aku going.
Aku showing
refuses to give up. Look at the smile on Zhang's face.
Zhang
talking to him in his ear.
Zhang is like, what do you have for me? 1 minute ago, ladies and gentlemen, and a heavyweight king will be crowned. BMC 7, return of the king.
The question is, will the king remain or will there be a new reign? And we have a reversal.
Begin.
Now Aku has 30 seconds to try and get off the cage and land a knockout. Now that is a lot easier said than done when you are tired, pretty much 5 rounds in. And he's doing all he can at the moment. He's clinching him and doing his absolute best.
But
not out of the fight in
it'll
any
be
way.
enough to take the fight. I think Aku should disengage and
land a strike on the break for sure.
Because Zhang is definitely. Oh, and Zhang with some beautiful shoulder strikes. Some creativity coming out of the Namibian corner.
What a fantastic fight!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your heavyweight title fight.
Seemingly at least 4 rounds in the bag for Team Namibia on this particular day. But you can never be too sure. Let's hear what the judges have to say.
Beautiful athleticism, and what a fight from both men, putting on a championship-worthy performance. You can see the experience, you can see the composure, and you can see the talent that we have in Africa.
I didn't doubt him for a second, brother. It's in the blood, bro. It's in the blood.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for this awesome fight. Your winner of BMC heavyweight title, blue corner.
All glory, he demands it. All pale in comparison. He owns the scales that you can't tip off, cause he can't slip off. So I say unanimous with no hiatus. My heart is bearing his manuscripts. I bars bear them, while the world swears by its barbarics, we declare them. Fist clutching the thin air for them. Won't fold when it comes to making men aware of them. Breathe. He's exactly what we could never be. Born of ability, sinning better than a battlefield, trying to let us speak. But say this is status free. Read deep for the choke on the sense destruction. Serve no one but him, all these spits and I'm here, but in the end these words serve them no justice. Yeah, nothing exists without his signature to allow it. Lord of the ring, cause all creation revolves around him. The I am more than a legend and some. So we boast to the Lord through these anthems and sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with a new BMC heavyweight champion. Brother, how does that sound?
Before everything, I gotta thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Yeah. When I was told I was gonna fight the guy, I ain't gonna lie, I was actually scared. That nigga is a mountain of muscles. I was like, but I trust my coach, I trust my team. I knew that I was gonna do it. That's why I took the fight. And beforehand, as I said, I'm a light heavyweight, but I came to heavyweight to bully the big boys. And thanks to my brothers that are here. Thank you, Junior.
And would you like to give a shout out to the team at home where you're training out of, CDS, Namibia?
Yeah, CDS, Namibia, let's go! Let's go, boys!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your heavyweight champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new heavyweight champion. BMC's very first international champion. An intercontinental challenger from Namibia. And what a cool team. Look at this. Look at that hand slap to the guard and wrapping around with that hook. Beautiful bouncing style. Clearly took from some of the greats that are currently and formerly in the UFC. Lovely knees, beautiful strikes all around, and we had two massive heavyweights here. And the lighter man, the more fit man, the man that could keep his weight for a longer period of time and be active for a longer period of time, that's the man that won today. And as he mentioned, he could be a light heavyweight, but he is not scared to brawl with the big boys. So I'm sure we'll see him back in the BMC cage, defending his title against whoever comes next. Alright, so that was our final fight of the evening. The heavyweight champion, the big boys. And now we are going to sign off for this BMC broadcast. Until next time, I am Tristan, and this was BMC.